I record to the cloud. Hi, my name is Tanya Kaepernick, and welcome to the Empath Alchemy Retreat. We are here to give you tools to get you moving on your life path. And today's incredible expert is Adam. Adam, how do I pronounce your last name properly?
You'll get it.
You're good? Thank you. Leibowitz. Thank you. There's never want to butcher people's last names. So if Adam can do it, so can you. This is his incredible bio. Here are some of the things Adam has manifested in the last 18 months. 1, avoided the New York harsh winters in the Northwest, recently bought a home with a pool in Orlando, Florida, visited Disney World a lot. He has been 50 times in the year before the pandemic, and as a full-time resident has been 8 times since moving back in the last 2 weeks. Traveled the US in an RV. That's right, Adam bought an RV, and he and Hazel and Rosita, his puppy and cat, did a 13-month, 25 cross-country tour. And the best part, when he sold the RV and truck, he manifested breaking even instead of losing an arm and a leg on the depreciation of not 1, but 2 brand new vehicles. He's not suggesting that you quit your job, but I can help you get where you want to be by harnessing the power of the law of attraction. Yes, please. On a side note, no pun intended, Adam is an accomplished composer and producer. He recently released a concept album of a rock version of Mozart's Don Giovanni. Check it out at www.dgrocks.com. Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Yep.
Okay, so master of the law of attraction, Adam, tell us what you know and how this works.
Well, the thing that I know is that it's way easier than everybody thinks it is. Okay. I also know that it's really hard to figure out how to do on your own because there's so much information out there. So what happened to me was that I watched The Secret.
Yes.
And I was all in. I'm like, okay, I'm convinced. How do I do it?
Yeah.
And I sort of started to kind of regurgitate the things that I heard when I was talking to other people about it. I'm like, yeah, this is how it works, but how do I make it work? And what I didn't realize is I was making it work. I've been making it work my whole life and I didn't even know it. So what I didn't like about The Secret was it didn't really tell me specifically how. So I picked one of the people in the movie that I liked. I said, all right, I'm going to follow him or her. I can't remember who it was. And then I started going down all these different rabbit holes. Oh, I got to go this way. I got to go this way. I got to go this way. And it was making me crazy. So finally I decided, well, let me find a law of attraction coach. And I found one, and she turned me on to Abraham, Esther, and Jerry Hicks.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, they're not in the movie, which is a whole nother story. But what I did was I read Asking It Is Given. And from page 1, I was totally convinced this is the way to do it. And then I realized that everything in that movie was based on that book. And what she does, what I think is so amazing about her seminars are like $250. You sit in a room with 1,000 other. You ever been to one of those?
No, but I've live streamed them.
Oh, it's insane. I went to one, and actually when I was in Florida a few years ago, this giant ballroom.
Yeah.
It must have been 2,500 people in there. I don't think that's the right number, but $200 a pop. And it wasn't $25,000 for a weekend and not coming out with anything. So I read the book, and after a couple of maybe 2 sessions with Lisa Hayes, who's amazing, by the way, you can get a coach. I said to her, hey, were they trying to tell me as long as I'm happy, I'm going to get everything she wants? I want. She said, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I realized every ounce of teaching around the law of attraction is a zillion different ways to say, get over yourself. If you can find a way to be happy, then you will get everything you want. And the rest is all just details on why and how it works. So when I do my own coaching, I find myself repeating over and over the same thing. And people are like, yeah, but I busted my toe. Okay, great. But how do you feel now that you can walk? Well, I feel okay, but my toe still kind of hurt. People don't get it. And I decided I wanted to cut through all the bullshit. Can I say that? I just did.
Yes.
I wanted to cut through all the bullshit. It was all, and not only was it bullshit, it was expensive. Times using bullshit. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not that kind of time. And that's what I did. I figured it out very quickly my life changed. That and I started doing transcendental meditation, which those two things, I started doing the TM first, and then like a week later I read Asking It Is Given, and like my life just completely changed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, legit though. Abraham is the gateway drug to law of attraction. And they were in the original cut of The Secret, but they got edited out when they wouldn't give up their rights.
Oh, I know. See, I heard it's because there were two out there.
Oh, they give different stories. Maybe it was because they were two out there.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I adore Abraham and Esther. And if I could, you always hear, if you could have lunch with one person, dead or alive, who would it be? It would absolutely be Esther. I would just, not even Esther channeling Abraham, just Esther as Esther. I just would love to hang out with her. And she seems to me like totally cool.
She does. And I will admit, I'm one of those people that have made things way more complicated than they have to be, right? Yeah. I'd be like, I broke my toe. And you'd be like, okay, just get over it. And I'd be like, but what is the root reason? What's the trauma behind it? Instead of just moving on and getting on with life, right?
Well, so what the thing about me is when you talk to me, and I do coaching, but the thing about me is that I won't let you talk about it.
Oh.
I'll give you like 4 seconds and then I'll cut you off. And then we'll get into something else. I mean, that's because it doesn't do you any good. And I don't want to hear about it. I don't need your negativity in my life. It's not going to help me. I like coaching. I find myself when everybody gets in and out of, I call it the zone, but in and out of the vortex. Yeah. And when I'm out, almost always, 99% of the time, somebody will come into my life that I'll have a law of attraction conversation with. And it won't even be about getting them back in the vortex. It'll be about me getting back in the vortex because I love talking about it so much. So, if you're gonna, if you want to pay me a lot of money an hour to complain about your woes, I'm not going to take it because I can't deal with it. It's like being in a conference call with HR or something. It's like, oh God.
Oh no! Oh, that's the worst conference call.
It's money's not putting me in the vortex.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So that you've got this mastered. Tell us about some of your favorite things to do to like work this into your life. So you cut people off when they, oh, woe is me.
Yeah. Well, so I have this little method that I use. Yeah. That I have ready to go. Oh. So that when I'm, it's all about contrast. So everything. Yeah. Everything I'm going to quote and teach is really just Esther. So, I mean, you don't have to listen to me, go read Esther. But the problem with Esther that it's hard to read unless you really are totally open to it. And I kind of am on this continuing loop of reading it. I read it chapter front to back a little bit every day and I start back over. So I'm constantly reading the book. And every time I read it, I get something new out of it. So by the way, if you're reading that book specifically, here's my advice. Don't underline, don't highlight, don't take notes. In the book, do another page. Just read it clean, because if you highlight, when you come back to it a second, third, fifth, 12th, 18th time, you're going to go to that highlight, but you're in a completely different place than you are. You're a highlighter and a sticky note, aren't you? Go get a clean copy. No. I'll give you money back guarantee. Go get a clean copy and just read it, and you will see how much different it is and how much you'll get out of it every single time you read it.
Oh no, all of my books are highlighted and underlined and scored and okay.
So here's 2 pieces of advice. Yeah. Every other book you've got, get rid of. All you need is Asking It Is Given. It's all you need.
That is a good book.
It's all you need. It's the only book. Everything else is just that regurgitated. My teaching too. It's nothing. I think the difference between like me and the guys that are charging $40,000 a pop, one, they can. They're claiming to come up with something new and different. But I don't. I mean, I have different ways of getting you to the same result, but I'm here to tell you that it's all about getting the vortex. So anyway, so contrast. I mean, you know what you don't want, so you know what you want, and it's constantly. You never get done. I just read that this morning. You get one thing, but there's always more that you want, and that's okay. Yeah. Where was I going with this? So this little thing. So when something brings me down and I'm out of the vortex, I don't like that feeling. So I got to figure out how to get back there immediately. So I have this little and when that happens to you, you have to know ahead of time how you're going to do it. You can't just drop a flower pot on your toe. Never done that. I've never even used that analogy. But if you're carrying a flower pot and you drop it on your toe, you can't go, oh man, that really hurts. What am I going to do now?
Yeah.
You have to drop the flower pot on your toe and say, okay, here's what I do every time I drop the flower pot on my toe, or I spill coffee on my shirt, or I crash my car, or I, whatever. You have to have it planned ahead of time. So I have this little, I call this little happiness mantra. I sing this little song, da, 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 da. And that actually happens to be coincidentally the music you hear when you first walk into Main Street on Disney.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that works for me is because it happens, when I took my daughter there when she was 12, I don't know, I was getting divorced, in the process of getting divorced, and this is the first trip my daughter and I had taken, just the two of us, kind of in all that turmoil. We went to Disney World. It was the first time I had been probably in 10 or 15 years. And there was so much, if you've ever been through a bad breakup or divorce with kids, there's so much trauma, a little bit. There's so much trauma and so much tension and anxiety, that whole thing. So when she and I, and then planning the trip and going alone and realizing I wasn't going, we weren't going to the family, blah, blah, blah. By the time we got to Disney World and walked through the gates and we were there, there was such an overwhelming feeling of emotion and joy that I sort of did the dad dance to the music walking through the gate. And that was probably the happiest time in my life. So what I've done is I've taken that little music, and that's what I call back whenever I need to get myself in the right spot. And so this is the primary thing that I teach. And there's a way to trigger that. There's this methodology that I have, and I'm actually supposed to be writing a book on that too. But I'll give it to you here for free, but make sure you spend the $6.99 when it's time. So how much time is this conversation? How much time do we have?
We've got like another 45 minutes if you want.
Oh, great. All right, so then I'll tell you what. So you'll be my client. And
Okay.
I'll just walk you through it,
Okay.
and I'll walk you through it the way that I do everybody, and we'll do it beginning to end.
Okay.
So I want you to think about in your life the happiest moment, one of the two happiest moments. You don't have to tell me about it. You're welcome to, but I don't need to know what it is. I just need to know that you know what it is. I want you to pinpoint a very specific time in your life that just, if you could go back, that's in the vortex on a scale of 1 to 10. You're at a 10. It's pure joy. Do you have it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's personal. Can you share anything at all with me about it?
Yeah, it was definitely when I was with my soul family in Disney on Space Mountain. Yeah.
Okay, great. So where in Space Mountain? Was it in line when you first got in the car, when you're going up the hill, when you're going,
It was going up with all of those really cool lights coming at you.
Okay, great. So do you remember where in the car you were sitting?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember what you were wearing?
No.
Do you remember if you were hot or cold?
I was neutral.
Was it a hot, sweaty day, or was it kind of a nice, cool day?
I was a comfortable temperature.
Do you remember the beeps and the music and the sounds, or the sound of the track going up?
I remember.
Or did somebody say something, or
The sound of laughing.
sound of laughing?
Yeah. Yeah. Me. Yeah.
You. And what were you laughing at?
How fun it was.
Just how fun it was.
Yeah.
Going up the hill, the anticipation of the ride, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what was the fun part? Was it the feeling of going up, or was it just that you were with your soul family?
It was just this ecstatic moment that I'd always wanted to be at Disneyland my entire life, and the incredible people that I was with, and being on this amazing roller coaster at the same time.
Right. So now I want you to notice, I don't know if you can see your reflection in the camera, but look at how lit up you are, how your face is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You see your body language and how happy you are. So
Yeah.
let me ask you, if you could walk through your days with this feeling, would you do it?
All the time.
all the time. Okay,
All
great.
the time.
We need to figure out a way to trigger that. So you've got it in your back pocket. So when you drop the plant on your toe,
Okay.
you can go right there, and all of the I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a doctor. I've got a D in chemistry, and that was great. But I know
Yeah.
there's stuff that goes on in your body, chemicals being released with your thoughts, that your whole body just gets addicted to the joy, just like people, and you're all out there who get addicted to the negativity. Someone who's always negative, it's the same thing. Get addicted to the feeling of going with your soul family up on Space Mountain.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's what you do. You probably have, you probably don't need to go to the store, but because I bet you're a journaler. Go to the store, buy a notebook, buy a pen, brand new. Find a spot. Let me simply go back. So was there anything, you heard the sound of laughter? Do you remember any music or any song that maybe comes to mind, or something that, maybe the Space Mountain music, there's really not a Space Mountain soundtrack per se, but is there?
No, I remember the bips and beeps, but if we're specifically talking to music, I know I can put music on and instantly be happy about it, right?
You can, but I want to find something that
that hits this one.
Okay, so can you imitate the bips or bleeps?
I could make them up. Yeah, I could go with it.
Okay, all right. So here's what I would choose. So get that journal.
Okay.
Get the pen and find a time when you can completely turn off from the world. You need 30 minutes, 45 minutes, however much you can really carve out. Find yourself a room, turn everything off, get it the right temperature, put the book down, put the pen down, sit down, and just take in a few deep cleansing breaths. Close your eyes, and write down the title. Open the book, write down whatever, Space Mountain, maybe just Space Mountain, my soul family, whatever it is. And then I want you to, in your journal, write as much excruciating detail, sorry, I don't want this to go, about that day.
Okay.
Sights, sounds, smells, touch, feelings, as much as you can, as much detail as you can. And write it all down. And then when you're done, put the pen down and sit and breathe for another a minute, 10 minutes, whatever. And then go back and read it with a real editor's eye. And take out anything at all that's negative.
Oh, okay.
Now you're not going to say, and it's real easy, because it's really easy to say, oh, but there is this crying baby behind me. That stuff's easy to find.
Yeah.
So if you think about this happiness scale of 1 is you're in pain because you dropped the pot on your foot. 10 is you're beep, 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 going up the hill, right? So the 1s are easy to find. It's the 4s and the 5s and the 3s that are harder to find.
Okay.
This is the key. This is the huge key to law of attraction, I think. So you know how Esther tells a story about if you nudge a car at the top of the hill in San Francisco, it won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you try to stop it at the bottom of the hill, then you're screwed. Well, I should say screwed, but you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's right. So this is the same thing, because it's all about momentum. If you're at a 5, and you think about something that's a 4.9, that's okay. But then all of a sudden you're going to be at a 4.8. Before long, you're going to be at 4.2, and a 3.0, and a 2. So when you say things like, traffic was bad getting to work, but I don't care because that's just the way it is. You're not slitting your wrists, but wouldn't you much rather be, hey, I had a great commute to work today?
Yeah.
That's a 4.9 versus a 5.1.
Oh.
And look for those in your own life and people around you. People start saying, they'll say, oh my gosh, I bought this beautiful plant, but I dropped the damn thing on my toe. I don't care about you dropping it on your toe. I care about the beautiful plant, right?
Yes. Yes.
And people do that all the time. They have this wonderful, beautiful thing, but I got to tell you why it was really not as good.
And they start sliding down.
It happens all the time.
Holy shit.
All the time. Yeah. I mean, you'll find yourself doing it, and you'll find other people doing it.
I just did it this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I have a theory behind that. I mean, people like if you say something like, well, let's say, oh my gosh, I got to work this morning in 20 minutes. Usually it takes me 45 minutes, but because traffic is bad. And the thing is, what I think is that we're so uncomfortable with positivity that we think, oh, I've got to explain to you why this is really a good thing. Like, I need you to understand. No, you don't. No, you don't.
We do that all the time.
All the time. This is why you pay me $40,000 for a week.
It's worth it.
I wish, yeah, from your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so go through and edit out all of the things. It's not even so much that they're negative, but it's, would you rather talk about the traffic or the good ride? Well, I don't mind talking about the traffic because it's reality. No, that's not reality. Reality is what you make it. The reality is, like, I could say, like, I just bought this new house. So I just bought this beautiful new house, but it was, it's a rental house and it's got really old people furnishings in it. No one needs to know that. I got this beautiful new house. Beautiful new house. That's all that matters. And it's true. Is there an omission of, fact? Yeah, but who cares? Right? You know what I mean? I mean, it's true. It's a beautiful house. But, so no buts in your life. I've got this beautiful plant, but no buts. It's the buts that kill you. The buts is what gets you down from a 5 down to a 1. So go look through there and look for the buts.
Okay.
Just get rid of them. And then randomly, I want you just to go beep, 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 beep. Okay. Whatever the beeping sound is, just randomly do that.
Yeah.
Then go back through and read it out loud. And really savor each word. And as you're reading it, you've got to, if you put all the time in the detail to what you remember, ask you what you're wearing, were you hot, were you cold, did the seat stick to your legs, was it, whatever. The more detail you can have, the better. So you read it out loud. And then you go beep, 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 beep. And now you've spent 20 minutes to an hour and a half, however long it is, reliving this moment, and you've written it down. So you've used the mechanics of your hand. You've read it out loud. You've said beep, 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 and you've brought back all of these memories. So you've triggered all of these, all the brain surgeons and the people who know about science will tell you the cortex and the vortex and the whatever it is, all the mush that's in your brain, it's all firing from different places, and you're sending all this joy through your body. You've just triggered beep, 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 to be that. Look at you laughing, right? Next time you're in line and there's some annoying person in front of you who's trying to, can you, it's supposed to be 30 cents cheaper? Can you go? And instead of being like, what the fuck? I got someplace to go. Beep, 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 beep. And it will trigger all of this. And not only will it put you in a good mood, but let me tell you a story.
Okay.
So,
I love stories.
Nothing but stories. I was in Colombia.
Okay.
Bogota, Colombia, minding my own business in the middle of standing on a street corner. I wasn't drunk. I have to say that. Everybody else was drunk. I wasn't drinking. Some kid fell on me, drunk as anything, and he blew out. I blew out my knee. He fell on me and it blew out my knee. So I ended up having knee surgery in Colombia. And then I don't know, a few weeks after my surgery, I went back and my knee was like this. It's hurting, and he said, all right, well, there's fluid in there, we got to get the fluid out. I'm like, oh, I've seen movies, I know what that means. It's a needle like this. So he puts me on this table and he takes this needle. He says, he says they take the fluid out and put steroids in. So he takes this needle like this and he starts sucking out in, and it was the most excruciating pain I had ever done. I mean, it was like I was crying. It was horrible. And guys, I thought I gotta do what, and then I went da 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 da, and like that, the pain went away. Mind over matter? Absolutely. Absolutely mind over matter. Placebo? Absolutely. Did I talk myself out of the pain? Absolutely. But that's what the thing is. That's how you create your own reality. And I've got a zillion stories like that. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that is an incredible display of power.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
And I've had people say to me, oh my God, it works. No, it works.
Yeah.
Of course it works. That's it.
It's convincing ourselves that it does work and that it is easy and that we're allowed to be happy. That's the part, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't even have to believe it. You just have to do it. Maybe this isn't going to work, but you can't help. Every time I do it, you laugh. That's exactly the feeling you want.
Yeah, absolutely. That there's actually a cheesy kids cartoon that beep 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 is reminding me.
Oh, okay. Let's. What's the cartoon?
It was something about it was daily news with ants, and this ant's name was Giant, and the music was beep 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 beep. Exactly what.
All right. So then that's now. Here's the other piece. Go find that music.
Yes.
Play it while you're journaling.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're out there watching, you can find some piece of like music is the most powerful because
it's so powerful.
I mean, you have to have something auditory. Like that's why the beeps are great. So you can be, instead of shooting daggers at somebody, just beep, 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 beep. It's so much easier to be angry and unhappy. It's just easier to be that way. And that's why Esther says all the time, I'm sorry I'm making you work. And what she's saying is, I'm sorry I'm making you work and not being a grumpy son of a bitch. And you have to work at being happy. And all of a sudden you're happy and you're getting all your, when you're happy, when you're in the vortex, you're able to make these binary decisions. Do I go here or there? And when the only way you can make the right decision is if you're in that happy place in the vortex, because then you're going to choose what feels better. And that's the path of least resistance. That's how, when Esther says step 2 is not your work, you've got to get in alignment with the universe. That's what she means is, if you can, all the universe wants is for you to be happy all the time, to be joyous. And when you're that way, then they will lead you where you need to go. And even when you're not, they're constantly leading you where you need to go, but you just have to know, you make the right choices. And the right choices aren't it's not the moral choice. It's not the easiest choice. It's not the fastest choice. It's the path. It's the right choice for now, the one that feels better right now. Does it feel better to pull the arrow out of your chest or go get kind of, these are not practiced analogies, by the way. These are the ones, I don't know why they're coming up.
Like the ones off the cuff. They're the funniest.
But that's the key, is when you can, your life at any given moment is binary. You got option A or option B. And if there's 3, you say, okay, we've got, would I rather do A or B or A or C? Well, now you're down to 2. So you can either go left or you can go right. And if you always pick the one that feels better, damn the consequences, which one feels better, then that's the universe guiding you on the path of least resistance. Do we have time for another story?
Yes.
I'm a sandwich guy.
Okay.
There's a segue. I love hero sandwiches, sub sandwiches, grinders, a big loaf of bread with mayonnaise and meat and vegetables, lettuce and oil and vinegar. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Or just veggies for all the vegans in the group. I know there's some. But nothing's better than a slab of cured ham. Okay, and I'm Jewish. Anyway, so I love to go to these mom and pop restaurants, sub places specifically, and I love to go there and I love to order the number 1, whatever that is. Give me the number 1.
Anything? Okay.
I want the sandwich that Uncle Fred made in the 30s. That somebody said, "Oh, Fred, you got to open a sandwich place." And 100 years later, he's selling those sandwiches. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't care what it is. I want the number 1, however it comes, all the way.
Okay.
What do you want? Onions? Is that how it comes? Well, yeah, then I want it all the way. So I love finding places like that. Okay. So I was doesn't matter where I was sitting in my office somewhere, and I thought, oh, wait, let me back up. When I turned 50, 9 years from now, when I turned 50, there's all these like major life things I wanted to do. One of them was to read these classic books. And so one of the books I wanted to read was Cervantes' Don Quixote. And I couldn't read it in Spanish. So I did some research on which translation I wanted. So it's a very specific translation I wanted, and of course it was out of print, English translation. And I looked on Amazon. Actually, I looked on Amazon UK and Amazon Spain. I couldn't find it anywhere. I found it in some libraries, but you can't really access things through libraries unless you have an academic library card. And so I thought, well, that's really hard to find. I'm not going to find it, so I kind of moved on. But there's always something that I want. I know I just wanted this particular version of the book. So anyway, so I'm sitting at my desk one day. Decided it's time for lunch. I want a sandwich. So I looked in on Yelp, and there was a sandwich shop 5 minutes from where I was, and a sandwich shop 12 minutes from where I was. So I had this binary choice. I'd never been to either one. They both were mom and pop shops. They both had they were the same. But I didn't feel like going to the one that was 5 minutes away. I wanted to drive the extra 10, 15 minutes. I don't know why. Just that I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to go there. I want to go to this one. The smarter thing would have been to go on the one that's 5 minutes away. What's the difference? 10 minutes. No difference. So I got in my car and I'm driving. And I'm going down the road and I'm watching my GPS. And I'm at a median and there's trees. So I see my GPS has me going up to the light, making a U-turn and going into the parking lot. I said, fine. So I couldn't really see it, but I went up there. When I made the right turn, the U-turn, I'm about ready to turn right, and I look over to where the sandwich shop is. I see a used bookstore. Now, I don't have to finish the story, but I'm going to finish the story. I'm like, and I literally said, are you fucking kidding me?
Right?
Like next door to the sandwich place is a used bookstore.
Stop it.
So I go in, and I'm just like shaking my head, and I'm like, all right. And I went to the section where the book should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't there. I'm like,
oh,
okay. So where in the story is this book? Because I know it's here. The book is here. So I went to the other, and you know how those wonderful bookshops are like little mazes, and you need some weird old lady who doesn't have any social skills to guide you through the labyrinth and give you the secret codes and all that. So I didn't even call her. I just like Pac-Man. I went and I found. And I went, and there it was under C, one copy of this book, that out of print version of Don Quixote. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because I went to the wrong sandwich shop.
Well, the right sandwich shop.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so the key there is that I wasn't like working so hard to find and getting frustrated. Where the hell is this? How am I going to find this book? Yes. I forgot about it. I was doing a crossword puzzle. And the word came to me the next day in the shower. So I completely let it go. That's giving up all resistance. There was no resistance. Resistance is when you're fighting hard to solve a problem, you never solve it. It's always in the middle of the night. I went to the other sandwich shop, and there was the book. And I've got a million stories. I've got actually another out of print book. Same thing happened.
What? Wow.
I can't remember. I was in the Strand in New York, and I bought this book that looked interesting.
Yeah.
And I got it home and I realized, oh shit, this is the book that I was looking for. I completely forgot about the book. And there was this particular version that you can't get anywhere. This happens all the time. If you will just stop trying so hard. Because the harder, we all have the crossword puzzle is a great example. If you do crossword puzzles, or if you do, have you ever had something that's on the tip of my tongue? What is that? What's the tip of my tongue? What is that? What is the tip of my tongue? And then you'll be in the movies, you'll go like, alfalfa sprouts. You're like, what? That's what I was trying to think about 3 days ago.
Yeah.
All do that. And when you stop, and you can't say, all right, I'm not going to think about alfalfa. I'm not going to think about this thing.
That doesn't work.
I'm not going to think about it, because all you do is think about it more.
Mm-hmm.
You can genuinely find something else to think about. And that's what's so great about, because when you drop the plant on your foot, you can't say, all right, it hurts, but I'm not going to think about it. My foot doesn't hurt. My foot doesn't hurt. This foot doesn't hurt. The foot doesn't hurt because it hurts. But if you go, then you're not thinking about your foot. Here's the thing that's so cool and crazy, is that you can only, and if all the scientists out there send me hate mail, I'm getting ready to say, there's no scientific proof to any what I'm saying, except I've got a pool. I'll let that one sink in. You can only think one thought at a time. You have one thought at a time. Now you can have a zillion in a split second, but there's only one you're doing them one at a time. I don't know if that's true. It's true. I'm so worried about the scientists. You can email me at one thought at a time. You get to choose which it is, but you can either think about the pain in your toe or the beep, 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 beep. You get one or the other. And if you get good at thinking, beep, 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 then everything else will go away. That's why you have to do this ahead of time. You have to know ahead of time what your little trigger is going to be, and you have to charge it. You have to get it ready to go. You can't just you can't be in the throes of agony and think, okay, how am I going to, what do I do? What do I do? You can't do it. You have to know it ahead of time.
Okay.
And you have to have something that everyone that's watching gives you the reaction that you get when I go beep, 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 every time. Like, I would love to like hang out with you now, because we could be like, we'd be at a funeral, or we'd be like at the Johnny Depp trial. I just dated the whole video. And you going like,
I'd lose it.
That's my favorite thing to do, by the way, is make people laugh when they're not supposed to laugh. And I'm really good at.
Yes, yeah.
I just go, beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
and you laugh and you get in trouble.
Oh my God.
That's my joy in life. But anyway, so that's the point, is that you have to find something that gives you the reaction that you're getting. Because if you can have that, if you can walk through life with that reaction, and we all know people like that, and we hate them
all the time.
How are you so positive? Your life is horrible. Really? Then why am I so happy?
Yeah, right. It's clearly working.
It's clearly working. And they don't care what you think about them.
Even better.
Yeah, even better. So you have to find something that gives you that reaction, because that's when that's what Esther and Abraham say. We came into this physical space as non-physical beings simply to experience the physical joy that you can only experience in a physical space. It's not going to be 100% of the time, but it can be 99.9% of the time. And that 0.1%, you got to identify it and say, oh, I don't like the way this feels at all. And I'm going to go, beep, 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 beep. I'm going to get right back in. And that's the game. And, people say, oh, well, if I just had the money to pay my bills, then I would be happy. Well, it doesn't work that way, because you're only going to be able to get the money to pay your bills if you can get in this happy spot. Well, Adam, that's not reality. Well, yeah, you're right. It's not reality, but it is. Yeah. But if you don't think it is, then you're making your own reality. Everything you say and you believe will come true. Oh, that's not true. Okay, look, you just proved me wrong. I don't care. Live your crappy life. I don't care.
Prove me wrong all you want. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Are there things that I want? Absolutely. Are there things that I wish I had that I want terribly? Am I depressed sometimes? Absolutely. But I don't let myself be in that place. Yeah, but there are medical conditions, and yeah, you're right. I'm not going to speak to any of that. Although I will tell you, I mean, you hear all the time about the placebo effect. Mm-hmm. If you're taking medication and you believe it will work, it's probably going to work. If you take the same medication and you don't think it's going to work, it's probably not going to work. No. If you take a sugar pill and you think it's going to work, it's going to work. Do faith healers heal people? Probably. If they believe it's going to happen, yeah, absolutely. Why? That's the only thing that will work. Well, why can't you just manifest, your cancer going away? Well, you can, but it's the path of least resistance. And that path of least resistance might be treatment. So one time when my coach, Lisa, I was asking her, I did not want to have surgery on my knee. I said, Lisa, can I just manifest my knee getting better? She said, Adam, if anybody can do it, you can. But here's the thing. If you're at McDonald's and you order a steak dinner, you can probably get a steak dinner, but it's easier just to walk across the street and go to the steakhouse. Like, oh, that's genius, Lisa. So it's the path of least resistance. It's how are you going to get there? It's not the fastest way, but it's the easiest way from where you are right now. Can you manifest a big pile of $100 bills on your desk? No, because nobody ever, I mean, if you really truly could believe it, then maybe, but could you manifest making $1 million? Probably not either. But what you can manifest is what you're going to do with that money. I'm going to pay off my bills. No, that's not what you want. All these things you're doing are just things that you think are going to make you happy when you get them. And you're always going to want more. And yeah, I'm thrilled with my house and a pool. But once I made the decision that I was going to move to Florida and I wanted a house with a pool, I was like thrilled. I wasn't unhappy with where I was at. I think, oh my God, I can't wait. I was enjoying anticipating that. And one of the things that I hated about The Secret is one of the guys said, well, if you want a new car, go test out the new car and put yourself in the new car and smell the new car. And you're going to, and
I did that.
Did it work?
No.
No, here's why. Here's why. This is also why I'm going to lead in. Your vision boards don't work. Here's why.
Fuck.
They don't. If you do a vision board and you put it away, it may come back to you. Remember the book I told you I forgot I was looking for?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
here's why vision boards don't work, and here's why going and testing out the new car doesn't work. Because you think, okay, I did it. Now I'm done. Where is it? Because the vision board doesn't tell you, here's what I want. It tells you, where is it? Where is it? Where's the car? I'm driving the car. I'm doing the work, Bob. There, I said his name. I'm doing the work. Well, you got to pay me the fortune. I'm sorry. That's not the work. The reason I was so excited about the house and that I got the house and the pool was because I knew I was getting it, and I was just excited about knowing I was going to have it. In fact, here's another story. I haven't bought a house. I've been divorced maybe 10 or 12 years. And we bought a house. I think I bought a house in 2008, but I don't remember anything about the details. 2008? Did I buy a house that year? And so I'm a new house buyer. So I put a bid on a house, and it was the exact house I wanted. The inspection came, and there were some weird things about it. And then I said, all right, let's back out of the house. And then my realtor was like, well, you know what? You got really lucky on that house because, you know, it was your price range. There weren't, literally there were 40 other bids on it that were above market. That house wasn't like that. You're not going to find that in your price range. I said, well, that's fine. If I can't buy a house, then I can't buy a house, but this is what I want. I kind of got depressed by it. And I wasn't even sure, like, if I couldn't find the house, was I really even going to move to Florida? Was I going to go somewhere else? Was I going to rent a house? I really didn't know what I was going to do. So one day I woke up and I said, all right. And then like a week passed, I kept looking. There were no houses. And I was really like, okay, I'm not getting a house. It's not going to happen. Then I woke up one day and said, all right, here's the deal. I want a house. I want the house to have a pool. I want it to be furnished. I want it to be in this neighborhood. I want to blah, 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 blah. And honest to God, that day I found a house. There's like 6 of them, but there was one house that fit exactly what I wanted, even so much to the little chunk of backyard. Like the houses in Florida, they have a pool and they've got this covering and no backyard, most of them, or they have a backyard and no pool. And I didn't want a huge backyard because I didn't want to mow it. So I've got this house had just enough backyard for Hazel, my dog, to play in. And it was actually cheaper than I wanted. And there was no bids on it. We put a bid in on it. It got accepted right away. Because that morning I said, here's what I want. And I got exactly what I wanted.
Wow.
This works all the time.
All the time.
And
All the time.
what's really great about it, I've got some big things in my life that if I go the wrong way are going to explode.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, no, there's no reason to think that far ahead, because looking back, things have never really exploded the way that you think they're going to. So there's also comfort in this long-term knowing that, all right, there's a possibility that some massive bad thing could happen and I'll be blah, 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 blah. But there's a lot of comfort in knowing that's never really happened.
No.
That didn't happen to me. Yeah, it did. Okay. Well, you want to think about that now? You want to think about you can think about that and brood about it. And now you're at a 3.0 and a 2.3 and a 1 point. Now you're completely opposite. Or are you going to think about what is going to make you happy right now? There's no point in looking back at the shit you've gone through. And there's no point in anticipating the bad things that are going to happen. All that matters is, are you going to go to this sandwich shop or you go to this sandwich shop? Those are your binary choices. But my bills are due next week. Okay. So next Thursday, then you'll deal with that. But right now, which sandwich shop do you want to go to? And you're right. You can prove me wrong. Adam, you're wrong. And this is why you're wrong. You're absolutely right.
We're always right. Always.
You're always right.
What do you want to be right about?
That's right. But what I'm telling you, I mean, why am I right? I don't have a 401k. I didn't hit the lottery. I'm not independently wealthy. If I think about, well, where am I going to be in 40 years? Who's going to change my diapers? 40 years? I don't know what I'm doing in 40 minutes.
Reading Ask and It Is Given.
That's exactly right. No, that's not till tomorrow morning with my coffee. So it's really easy. I mean, it's really easy. I mean, how do you do it? Well, all right. So here's a plug. You're getting a free ebook. My ebook is free. There's no gimmicks. If you read the ebook, then I'm going to send you an email every single day and get you to spend $47 here, then $2.99, and then, okay, if you get this today only there's nothing like that. I don't want to work that hard. I have this ebook and it's six easy steps. I think it's six easy steps. Law of attraction, how to make it work. It's 6 easy steps. It sounds like I'm going to charge you all kinds of money after that. I'm not. It does. It's free.
Legit.
And really, one of the steps is to read Ask and It Is Given. And the other 5 are just ways to help you get into the vortex.
Wow.
Ways to, so if you have anxiety about something, sort of pull that. It's how to get your day started on the right foot. You ever wake up and you're late for work and then you stub your toe and you spill your coffee and you get stuck in traffic and things that's because you're not beeping. If you wake up first thing in the morning and you're anticipating all the things that you have to do today, well, your day's just. So one of the steps is how to wake up, but the previous step is how to go to sleep, what to do when you go to sleep to make sure when you wake up, you don't end up in that state. So things like that. So I would say there's only one book you really need to read, and that's mine, because mine then tells you what to go. But there's only one other book. So all that money you're getting ready to spend on these, ridiculously expensive programs, you're wasting your money, because what you're really doing is, I've got a great new analogy. I just lost it. It's like you're building a vision board. All right, if I build the vision board, I'm going to get the house. If I pay this guy $40,000, I'm going to get everything I want. You're not. That's really the easy, more expensive way out. You're not going to get what you want. Some people do, but I think that's, if you need a seminar, pay the $250 and watch Esther. Read her book. Do these little things that I'm talking about. Go back and watch this over and over again. Go do your own little happiness mantra. And if that doesn't work, I'll give you your money back.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
But it will work. The only thing that does work. I mean, there are other ways to get yourself into a happy place, but the end result is, if you're not making decisions, being in your happy place, in the vortex, in the zone, if you're making decisions out of fear and anger, you're making the wrong decisions. Sometimes you get lucky, but I'm telling you, I've got everything I want in life, and there's more that I want, because you always want more.
Right.
But I drive around all the time. And I say, you know what? My life is really. I'm driving to Disney thinking my life is really pretty good. I got my car. I just bought a new car a few weeks ago. Yeah. And I thought, and there was one car that I wanted, and I ended up finding it. And I'm driving it's so embarrassing to say. I'm driving a 2-seater BMW convertible. but it's a 2000, and I only wanted to spend $25,000 on a car. And I bought a 2012. The thing is in mint, beautiful, perfect condition.
Wow.
I'm driving around in a BMW convertible. I'm driving around.
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's the least expensive car I think I've owned in the last 25 years.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And that's what I decided I wanted.
There you have it. Own your life with wisdom from Adam, right? Wow.
I'm telling you. So yeah, read the book.
Okay.
Do what it says.
Yeah.
Don't argue with me. I mean, you can. I'm not going to know who you are unless you hate me.
Right. Your steps right now. Read your free copy and ask what it is given.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you don't understand asking it is given, then find a coach. Find somebody that understands it that can help you. But seriously, you don't need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. If you've got dispensable income, send it to Adam Leviegn, care of. You don't need to.
That's incredible. And what a beautiful thing to share with people, because often, right, we feel stuck because we're like, well, how am I supposed to do this without all of that money to invest? Because we hear over and over, invest in yourself and invest in yourself. And I love that this is like, here it is. Just go for it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Adam, thank you so much for your incredible wisdom. I hope people watch this over and over again until right, all of where I live is going to walk around going beep, 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 or my friends will know why I'm making weird robot noises all the time. Right. And, oh gosh, thank you to everybody who's watched this. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for more incredible information. And until then, think deep, dream big, and spread light. We'll see you tomorrow.